Following Stephan Sterns' arrest, Detective Ballards recovered the victim's backpack, laptop, notes, and one white crock inside the dumpster located at the complex. A piece of attire was also recovered at that time. In this episode, we are going to listen to 2 audio interviews between Chris Sterns and the detectives. The detectives seek to learn what they can about Stephan, as well as ask questions about the storage unit. The first time Chris spoke to police was on the 28th, and according to him, the police had already arrested Stephan but did not tell him.
This big-ass tower out in Bithrow collapsed. And there were people working on it. They didn't send me to it because I was stationed someplace else, but I heard that guys were walking through the field. Oh, here's a utility bill. Pull it up and there's a body.
Yeah.
I mean, that's smash that person into the ground.
Oh, wow.
And that was a big
That's
event.
terrible.
Back then we had stainless steel revolvers.
Yeah.
And I was telling the other guy I was driving at one time I had a Pala that the siren button was a button on the floor, left side.
Yeah.
No air conditioning.
No air conditioning in Central Florida?
Yeah. And I pulled the guy over and I clocked him, and it was just above Brewer Hill on Aloma, and he said, I think you were doing 70, and he said, no, this car won't do it 70. I said, this car does 70, and it was clocking you at 70. Gave him the ticket.
How long did you do?
I was in a couple of years, and then I just felt like I wanted to get into sales. There was a guy that lived in the apartment complex I lived at that worked for Stouffer Foods, and so here's the life. He's on the phone, he's making hotel reservations, he's making golf reservations, he's making dinner reservations. He had a company car, and I said, I want a job like that. So I went to Atlanta and ended up getting a job with Campbell Soup, and I was in the food business for 20 years.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, very nice.
So obviously this is a huge deal, right?
Obviously it's changed from where it was at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. So throughout our investigation, we came up with, obviously you live down in North Fort?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm just going to shoot you straight out of respect for you and everything else.
Appreciate it.
There's a storage unit down there.
Yeah, I have a storage unit.
You have a storage unit. Is that your son's storage unit,
No,
or is
it's
that
mine.
that's your storage unit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does he have access to it?
No, I have the keys.
Okay. Were you aware that, did your son come visit you on Monday morning?
This Monday?
Yeah.
No, he left Sunday.
Okay.
He left Sunday,
No, go ahead.
So, what time did you get here last night?
3 a.m.
3 a.m. When you got here, where did you meet your son and Jessica?
We apparently pulled up at the same time at the hotel.
Perfect. Okay. When you guys got there, what did you guys end up doing?
We checked into the rooms. They had 239. I had 203. Opposite ends of the building. I brought my stuff up, went over and said goodnight, and then hit the sack.
After you guys went to your separate ways, when's the next time you talked to Stephan?
I got up at 6:30, 3 hours sleep, and went to the office because I figured he'd be sleeping in, crashed and burned, and didn't speak to Jen until 10:45-ish, and she called and asked if Stephan was with me, and I said no. Why? Well, he's not here. Oh, we'll go down to the lobby and see if he's down there. How long has he been gone? 25 minutes. Okay. I said, go check the lobby. And then I started to think about it, called her back, and I said, do you have the keys? No, I don't have the keys. So then she said, well, they just called and they're going to be out here within the hour. I said, oh, shit. So I drove out there, so it's probably out to the hotel because I was at my office.
Oh, okay.
Over off of Westwood. And I just grabbed my stuff and said, I'm going to go out there in case you guys showed up. I wanted to be there. So he hadn't showed up by the time I got there, and about 30 minutes later, he finally showed up, and I read him the fucking riot act.
Did he tell you where he was?
Well, he had an energy drink in his hand. He said he got lost. And, the back roads. Hell, I got lost, and I had a GPS. And I said, no, this isn't the right exit. I had to do a U-turn. So I always get messed up over there.
Okay, so like my partner said, we're not here to waste your time. You've been in this line of work before. Did he tell you he was in Northport today? I'm assuming he did it based on your reaction. you need to take a seat? Or?
No,
Okay.
he was in North.
Yes. What's the exit you take to get off at your house?
All right. 179.
Okay. Do you know the street? Like.
Toledo Way.
Okay. So we have more than enough reason to believe that Stephan was in Northport today at the exit that you take to get to your house. Our concern is we're conducting a missing person investigation.
Yes.
Given the proximity of that exit to your home, what we're trying to find out is if she's just hanging out in your house, you just want to get her somewhere safe, we want to put eyes on her, make sure she's okay.
She's not at our house because my wife. Well, here's something strange.
Is anybody at your house now?
Yes. Hang on a second. We raise standard poodles.
Say it again. You raised
We
what?
raise standard poodles.
Oh, okay. Poodle.
And they all, except they went on full fucking alert.
House
Yes.
throughout this period of time.
At what time you think
That's
that
what I
was?
thought.
Okay. Okay.
What time did the dogs go full alert last night?
Stephan,
I'll have your water.
Okay. 319.
3:19 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
do you guys have like ring cameras, any kind of security cameras on the property?
So we locked the door, and I don't, the door has a keypad, but when I left last night, it wasn't flashing. And that keypad, the battery's been in that thing for 4 years. So I called, I said, hey, that keypad doesn't seem to be working. It's not working right. So if you go out the garage, or you need to come back into the garage with the remote control. But she said the dogs went full alert at 3:19. We were at the hotel at 3 o'clock, so there's no way he could have been in Northport.
How big is your property down there?
Quarter acre.
Okay. So we've been in communication with some law enforcement down there, trying to work in some leads. Would it be all right if we send someone to go talk to your wife?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll coordinate that. So she's home now.
Night?
Yeah. So we're working a missing person investigation currently.
Well, let me give her a heads up because it's going to be noisy.
Okay.
We got 5 standard poodles.
How is your property out there? Is it like a neighborhood? Do you guys have?
No, it's on standard lines.
Okay.
Standard lock.
Yeah.
So no
Is it
woods
gated?
or-
What?
Is it gated?
No, it's on standard lines. It's just, no. Our backyard's gated. They're going to come over and want to search a house for, apparently, can I tell them?
Yeah.
Apparently, Stephan made a trip down to Northport last night. Or this morning, I should say. I have no idea. But there's a storage unit, but he wouldn't have access to the keys to the storage unit because I have the only key to it. And that would have been locked in my car, and he would have had to come in my room, which he didn't have a key to get into. He doesn't have a key. He took Jen's key. Storage room. It's in my console.
Can she check and make sure the key's there?
What? Well, is the key in the basket? Well, go look at the key in the basket.
The key in the console is at this car that you're driving up?
Hang on a second. What?
You said the key in the console is at this
My car? Yeah, it's only one key.
This car out here?
Yeah. Do I need to go look?
Yeah, let's go see if it's in there.
Yes, she can look for the key in the house. We can look for the key in the car.
You were wondering if you had a hospital. We use that to transfer equipment up to the bed, and they puke and they bleed in the back seat, or whatever procedure they have. So That's the yellow sailor, watch-out sailor.
Oh, there's a poodle with you.
No, it's a,
Oh no, that's like a
it's my sister's
Shih Tzu
dog.
or something.
Yeah, right there.
And that's the only key you
That's the
have
only
to
key.
the storage unit?
Yeah. There's supposed to be 2 keys, but I haven't seen that key.
Is his name on the storage unit at all?
No, it's not.
Like he can't show up and say, hey, I lost my key, can you give me access to...
No.
In theory, right? Here's your waters.
Oh, thanks.
So other than the storage unit in your house, could you see any reason for Stephan to go down where you live?
No.
Does he have friends down there? Other family members?
No other family members. He's got some friends or acquaintances that he plays whatever war games or stuff.
Like computer games or?
No, it's a board game.
He plays like card games and action figures.
Oh,
Yeah, he's painted all these caricatures and what have you. And he's gotten, some awards or recognitions for the work that he's done with these characters. But what time did you catch him on the camera down there?
He knows exactly what it is. He's on the phone, so I don't want to misspeak. But it was clearly when you were unaware that he was down.
So I went to bed.
How long does it take you to get from Orlando to there?
Well, with no traffic out last night, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
But if you're dealing with traffic early this morning, you're going to be looking at close to 3.
Yeah.
Because the traffic on I-4 getting out of here, and then you catch up to 75, and then you catch up to Bradenton. And
What ways can you go?
you
So
can go through the center of the state.
is that the turnpike?
No, the center of the state would be where the technical college is on I-4.
Okay.
You hit there, and then you go down like 27 or 17%. But you go down the center of the state and avoid all that bullshit.
27 to what?
I'd have to
like
look it up
70 or something?
because I don't pay attention. I just follow the GPS.
Okay.
But you're going down really the middle of the state, and you dump out at Arcadia, and then you head towards 75, Kings Highway, and then you go up north to Toledo.
It's like speaking German when you're not
Right. Hey, listen, I grew up here.
Yeah.
Went to Winter Park High. And
What brings you down to Northport?
Well, we build homes in 6 cities. I'm the broker for the company. We started in Poinciana and no habla español. So I was actually going to go to Palm Coast, and then I went over to look at some homes that we were building in Northport and said, oh, this is beautiful. I love it. It's rural.
Yeah.
And I said, and I expected it to mirror our experience in Palm Coast, but we had a bit of a rocky start. Right now I got 100 homes that are going to be completed, and the market's changed, and I'd love to be able to sell them right away. But I went down there because I thought it was a better area. The whole Southwest is a great area.
Booming area.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, Northport was rated the 2nd fastest growing city last year.
Just got to get these Yankees to come down and buy some homes.
Well,
right?
everybody's stuck in their homes.
Yeah.
They love those 2 and 3% interest rates, which
yeah.
will never go away.
Yeah.
And they'll never repeat.
They'd be foolish to get rid of those.
Yeah. Well, the Northerners coming down here will, because they want to get the hell out of the North.
So when you read your son the Riot Act, what do you mean by that?
I said, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
I said, if they came here and you weren't here, they would immediately put a bolo out and find you and arrest your ass and just haul you off to jail. Is that what you want? Well, I'm sorry. And I said, I'm just so fed up with him at this point.
Yeah.
And obviously there's something here because I've been here almost 6 hours. So, I've been here 6 hours. So something's going on. Look, he spent a lifetime lying to us.
Okay.
And it's just never gotten better. And he fed me some bullshit the other day. And before I left the house the other night, I turned to my wife and I said, do we really know Stephan? Can we honestly say we really know him?
Yeah.
And she got really kind of defensive a little bit. I said, no, I'm not saying that he did something, but can we honestly say we really know him?
So the other day.
Well, when I left yesterday, when I left last night, I said, hey, I turned to her, I said, do we really know him? Is he capable of doing something harmful to her?
Why would you suspect that?
Because some inconsistencies of phone calls he had with me didn't add up. Okay? So I'll give you the sequence. He calls me mid-afternoon, 3-ish, maybe 3:45 or something, and say, I just had a flat tire. Okay, how the fuck did you get a flat tire? You just drove over to Kissimmee. You took her to, maybe you're running an errand, but where would you have gone to get a flat tire? The tire was so flat, he drove on it and ran the is that Jen?
Yeah, we were finishing up.
He ran the rubber right off the wheel.
Yeah.
So he had to travel a good distance to do that. And then he pulled into a shopping center, and I said, was the donut in there? Yeah, swapped it out and almost crushed my thumb. I said, okay.
You know what shopping center he changed his tire?
No.
Or where he picked up the flat or anything?
I have no idea. So
This
then,
was Monday, just to confirm.
yeah, Monday afternoon. Do we want to talk someplace else?
We can, yeah. You
Yeah.
want to put Jen in the truck? Jen, you mind
Watch
sitting in
the
the
dog,
truck for a little bit while we finish talking to...
In the trunk?
Yeah, that's fine. Or wherever you're comfortable. We can sit in the weekend or whatever you guys...
How long are we going to be?
A few more minutes? Yeah.
And we're done.
It's been a while already, and I apologize.
That's fine.
All right, take them out. So then around 5 o'clock I get this call, and he's telling me about, well, there's been an incident, and that then he tells me that he dropped her off. And I said, well, tell me what you mean by that. And he said, well, I dropped her off. She doesn't want to be seen being dropped at school because you're not driving a cool enough car. Oh, okay, so you're not driving a Lamborghini, you can't drop her off at school. Okay, dropped her up the block off. He said he watched her through the rearview mirror, walked toward school, and then he left. And I said, okay. And so now you're finding out when you went to pick her up that she wasn't there. And everybody's just discovering this at the end of the day. How many hours later? Okay. So then, trying to think when I had the conversation about his phone. So I said, okay, well, they're going to want to know where your whereabouts were because you're the last person that saw her, so they're going to want to know. I said, did you have your phone with you? No. Why would you have your phone? I just forgot. Forgot mine. I said, beautiful. So then he tells me that he did an OS update. Now I'm a techie guy, and I said, okay. And he said, wipe the phone out. Really? How does that happen? It's an OS update. It's automatic. You say yes, and that's it. It updates, and then it reboots. It doesn't reset, it reboots. Well, I was multitasking, and I hit a wrong button, and it reset. And I questioned that. And I said, so there's some inconsistencies there. So why would that phone be wiped out? And I asked him last night, when you guys wanted the phone, I said, is there any reason why you wouldn't want to give them the phone? No, I don't think so. I said, okay, give them the phone.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Is there something on the phone?
Has he ever suffered from like mental illness or anything?
From what?
Mental illness?
Me?
No, not him.
Okay. When he was 8, he and a friend were playing in a parking area, and a guy came out and got in his Toyota pickup truck, said hello to the kids, and then backed up over them. And they both were run over, but he got hit in the head.
Okay.
With the bumper, and he had a slight tick. He had separation anxiety. So, he slept with us for a while, and finally I said, no, you got to go to your own bed and, get over that. He would go over to a neighbor's home and spend the night and show up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning wanting to come home. But as far as...
Nothing diagnosed or medication?
Well, he's been seeing a psychiatrist or psychologist or something.
Okay.
He's been on anxiety meds, depression or what have you. I have no idea what they're talking about because obviously he doesn't share that with me. But he's battled a number of things: depression, anxiety, and what have you.
As a child or as an adult?
Maybe ADD as a child, but as an adult, more severe.
Okay. Was he
And
able
he
to
suffers from sleep apnea.
Was he able to complete school no problem?
Well, Depends on who completed it. His mother, who we did online schooling, and she ended up doing most of the work
Online
for
school.
him.
Did he ever go to college?
So,
No. What did he do for work?
I've had him work with me in a variety of ways. When we were here in Orlando from 2010 to 2013, I did these, what they call BPOs. They're kind of like appraisals. I did 15,000 of them and had him and his friends go out and take these photos. And it was always a challenge to get his ass out of bed and go to work. You know, no motivation. The more you do, the more you make.
Yeah.
No motivation there. So and after that, that work went away. I got involved in various projects around the state of Florida. He really didn't do much. He worked at Quiznos for a while. That didn't last long until he wrecked his car. So he's been living with us and me trying to get him out of the house to go work. We came down to Northport. He stayed there with Jet. So while we were down there until December of last year, he lived with Jet. And then I was supporting him in Orlando, and I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. You got to come back.
Yeah.
And I was trying to create an opportunity for him down there, but that didn't materialize. Then I'm trying to get his ass out to get a job at Lowe's or Home Depot or something.
Time-wise, it's sometime like 7:45. She was down there.
7:45 this morning?
Yes. So, did you tell your wife that Northport meeting's on the way? Did you speak to her already?
I will let him know that we got sidetracked on something. They're coming there to see if she's hiding in the house?
Yeah, so what we'd like to do is, given that he went down there, we'd like to make sure like he didn't stash her in the bedroom and, hey, just hang out here.
No, she's been sorting out his bedroom because he lives like a fucking pig.
And you said you guys have a Ring camera, right?
Well, I was about to tell you that. I switched. Hey, Northport Police is going to stop by to do a wellness check type of thing. They're going to see if somehow
back around the house yelling her name. And just, that motherfucker, you know what? You know what stopped him from getting in the house? He didn't have a garage door opener. The front door lock is not working well.
Yep.
And I had put the lock on the slider.
Okay.
He couldn't get in.
All right. So I'm with the detectives, and they're sending Northport Police over to do a check to make sure that she isn't there. Okay. So you may want to alert the dogs. They're really
lock them up.
friendly.
I've got their food. I'm fixing to feed them.
Okay.
Just tell them it'll get noisy, okay?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to let you go.
They're good guys. I've been laying line with them.
Yeah.
If there are any issues, give me a call.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Bye.
And as far as outside of your house, what does the layout of your yard look like?
Well, there's a house to the right of me, and to the left of it is woods, and there's woods across the street. That fronts I-75. At 7:45, it would have been well lit. There would be small amount of traffic going up and down our street because they're constructing homes nearby. So there's always people doing that.
So this is no HOAs, I'm assuming?
No,
this is
sir.
gonna-
No, it's all scattered by.
When you say woods, you mean like woods, or like a thicket?
Wood. Yes.
What's your address?
With a satellite view, you'll see there's wooded lots all around. So next to me, there's a new house, and he's a renter. There's my house, and then to the left, there is wooded lot. There's a lot of wooded lots before my house, and then you run into one or two houses.
So going back to the cameras, you were going to say something.
Okay, so I ditched Comcast, and
Okay.
I had the Sky Bell hooked up to Comcast.
Okay.
And I realized when I kept seeing this orange light, I said, shit, I got to move this over. It's a pain in the ass. Move it over to the Frontier Communications versus Comcast. So I've got to reconnect it with the internet.
So the cameras weren't working for the last
No,
week?
because we discontinued the service. Matter of fact, the modem's sitting on my office floor.
All right. Do you think your son's capable of doing something like this? I know it's a hard question as a father.
I wasn't a hero, a welcome comment. I said, how well do we know? And nothing would surprise me at this point. I don't know.
Is your wife his mom?
Yes, we are biological parents. Yeah. I'm going to say anything's possible. I don't know. I mean, there would have to be some ulterior motive for some reason.
Sure.
Was there a motive?
Well, we don't know. We're trying to find her. We still think she's alive. So,
Well, this press conference indicated that she had some comments on social media about I want to live in the woods.
Yeah.
Was that accurate or?
that was.
Well,
We're not going to put anything inaccurate out there. That
Yeah.
just tarnishes the
I asked
validity of the
I asked Jen
investigation.
about that. She said, "Yeah, we had a conversation about a third world war. Where would you live? You know, the Palestine-Israeli situation. That's what I said. Okay,
So that was more of a fictitious. If doomsday happens,
Yeah.
sweetheart, where are you going to
Yeah.
live? Is that accurate?
Yeah, yeah. I go live in the woods. I said, I don't. She go live in the woods now by herself? I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know, my idea of roughing it is Howard Johnson's without a pool.
What is?
No kidding.
Do you know the unit number for your storage unit?
Yeah.
Because obviously you see the scope of work. At some point, you may want to get that storage unit as well.
I was there a couple of weeks ago pulling out some tax boxes. There's not that much room in there. I mean, you could stash a body if you wanted to, if that's the case. But like I said, as far as I know, I have the only key. I don't know if there were 2 keys issued, and I haven't seen the other key for well over a year. So,
Is there a chance that he has that key?
if I would say
there's always a chance,
there
right?
could be a chance because he's stolen from us,
Okay.
and why he would want it is beyond me, because all his stuff is that he has, guitar or what have you, is stuck in the very back, and he didn't want that. But I've ended up trying to clean out our garage, and I stuck all the other stuff there, and he wouldn't like that. Nor would I think he would spend the time to pull shit out of there to get it.
What does he think about?
My impression is that he loves the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And he was very upset Monday when he was talking to me. He was sobbing and blaming himself for her disappearance, and he was just. I could tell he was just going to be an emotional wreck.
Yeah. Did he ever have? Did he discipline her? How long were?
It's hearsay. He may have yelled at her because Jen and Jen would tell me this. The Jen.
Did you ever have like extensive, maybe during the holidays or whatever, where you were with the whole family?
They came down at Thanksgiving or Christmas. My wife and the dog.
Slept with who?
My wife and the dog.
And the dogs.
Yeah.
And during those times, was your relationship seemingly normal?
Yeah. I mean, they secluded themselves in Stephan's room, the 3 of them.
And then Jen. Okay.
And they would spend the bulk of their time there. Times and play with the dogs. They would bring Sailor with them.
Okay.
And would go into the bedroom and maybe read a book or watch a movie together, hang out. But
And nothing, I mean, you were a cop for years. Nothing you noticed that would be alarming?
I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Okay.
So then just going back to the storage unit, obviously they're going to go to the house and check in the near future. Would you have any issues with us checking out your storage?
Your code was used this morning to access the property, the storage property. Your keypad code. I have Northport PD in front of your storage unit. I know we're in a kind of a weird situation. Are you all right if they end up breaking the lock to get in there to make sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Alex, I don't
He just asked, I just heard it, he just asked Mr. Sterns if he was okay with us breaking them.
How do they know you access the keypad?
He told him we were here.
How do they know you access the keypad?
We're working with management down there.
He said yes. Are you okay with that?
And this is statewide news. This is your news.
Yep.
So a lot of people are going above and beyond
Okay.
helping us.
Let me fill that shit.
I didn't even know he had the key.
Okay.
I don't know how he would have gotten the keypad.
It's interesting. What's your code? Sure. What do you want to do?
They want the waivers signed before they break down the consent search. So, yeah, they want a consent search. So,
Yeah. Do you mind?
Will they
doing-
take a wet signature or an e-signature?
I appreciate
Yeah.
I think
you paid your code was entered to enter the property this morning.
And what time was that at? 9.
And your wife, by chance, wouldn't have went to the storage room.
she wouldn't even know where it is.
And Jen was with you this whole time, right? So
Well, wait. When I don't know where Jen was until she called me at 11.
okay,
Jen-
at 11.
And she said, "Hey, Stephan's not here. Is he with you?"
Okay.
So then he made up the story of getting lost and whatever. So here we go.
We can probably go upstairs.
Was that?
We can go upstairs.
Yeah.
Let's take these elevators right here.
Well, just walking around. Yeah, I was like 8,900, and I said, well, if I keep walking, I'll hit my 10,000 steps today.
Was this the sheriff's office? There's no way this was the sheriff's office when you
No,
worked here.
no, it was just opening up.
Down on 33rd is where you guys are at?
Yeah.
Who was the sheriff?
Mel Coleman.
No. Okay. I think we got his picture on the wall.
You'll have to Google it.
I would. Well, we have his pictures. We have shrines of past sheriffs all over. I'm sure we'll see him.
He was a good guy. He was kind of, I guess, revolutionary back then, young guy, and what have you.
Yeah.
But, what was the pay back then? I think I was making $800 a month. Tell me that.
Yeah, but back then that was a good job, right?
Well, it was fun. I tell you what, once you get it into your blood, you never let it go. So I was moving with Campbell Soup from Jacksonville to Orlando.
Am I going to be able to get back there?
Let's go there. Yeah.
And I'm taking this truck back Sunday evening, and I've got to be at the office in Jacksonville to take somebody on a ride along.
Yeah.
Monday morning.
Hey, Evan, we'll just hang out here so because he doesn't have a proxy. Okay.
So I pull up 436, 1792 in Casper, and there's a green pickup truck. I'm driving this stupid Pepsi rental truck. And as I'm approaching the intersection, this guy is weaving. And so we pull through the intersection, and this guy's weaving, and then I notice up ahead the guy's riding his bicycle, and this guy pulls over, and it's fuck, he's going to hit this guy.
Oh no.
He hit him, sent him flying. I went running up to I drove up to him, and he pulled into the ABC liquor lot for whatever reason, and turned around and looked at me and said, "Thank you very much. I got your face. I've got your license plate. I got on the payphone," because that's what you did back then, and called out of my police department and said, told him what happened. I said, "I think he's going to be heading eastbound on I-4." They came up.
Hey, Evan, is that remote right there? Can we turn this thing off? Yeah.
And so, Alamo PD came up, took a report, as I'm talking to him, again, a video alert, because they got the guy. Now they want me to identify. I didn't get out of there until midnight. And I get outside of Jacksonville, not far from my exit, and the car stops.
Yeah.
I'm now stuck on 95 at 3 a.m. I've got to be at the office at 7 a.m. And these sailors coming back picked me up and took me to my apartment. And I said, thank you, Lord, appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it was a long day, to say the least.
So are you guys still residing in Orlando part-time? You mentioned something off of Westwood.
Well, that's where our corporate office is.
That's where your corporate office is.
And so when I got up this morning, I went over there to meet up with everybody and then kill some time because I'm just a type A personality. I'm just not going to sit around waiting for whatever.
So sitting in a parking lot had to kill you.
It did. I just like, come on.
Yeah.
So anyway, it wouldn't surprise me if somehow he stole the key out of my car because I put all the keys there.
Okay.
So I had.
Does he have access to your car?
He would.
He would.
Because I would keep the keys on my desk. He could easily go in there and do something.
And when was the last time he was at your house in Northport? Was it over the weekend for her birthday?
Did they see him?
So I moved him back down from Kissimmee in December.
Okay.
To try to get him started on another career opportunity.
Okay.
Didn't materialize. So trying to work on some other things. So he visited them. He lied to me about this. He visited them maybe 6 weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Visited who? I'm sorry.
Jen.
Okay.
And I'm going to Frank's house, and I need a little extra cash. Okay, when are you going to be back? I'll be back later tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So I get an alert that toll booth charge. On E-Pass, I get an alert. I go, call him up and said, how's Kissimmee?
Yeah.
So he lied to me about what he was doing.
Yeah.
But he was in Orlando until 3 o'clock, maybe Sunday, and then he left because I told him he had to take care of his room, clean the mess out of there before he could go.
Yeah.
So he did that, and he got up there at 6:30 or something.
So I was kind of overhearing their conversation. Would it be safe to say and accurate that your son had no rights to this storage unit at all?
If he asked my permission, I would allow it.
Did he ever ask you permission?
No.
Okay.
And again, like I said, I've been missing this key for how long have I had this? Maybe I've had this key for maybe 18 months.
Okay. So was he staying with you kind of in Northport?
Yeah.
Up until now.
I moved him back in December because I couldn't afford to.
Okay, so from December to today, essentially. Yeah. Okay. All right. Where was he staying up here with Jen?
Yeah.
Okay. I just realized we just let Jen downstairs. She had the key to your truck?
No.
Okay. Well, I guess we won't be too long. Just it's dark out. Okay. All right. So he stays down there, and how often does he come up here to visit Jen and Maddie?
I think since he left in December, this would be the second, maybe third trip, but second, maybe third.
Yeah. Okay. So in December, it's February, almost March, second of May. So maybe once a month. Would that be fair?
He actually went in December for Christmas time, now that I think about it, because he was not included in the family outing, but he was there. So then he made this faux trip there, and then he made this, so 3 times. He's been there 3 times.
Okay. And she stays at that apartment in Kissimmee. Has she been staying there?
And he rented, and they which I ended up having to pay.
Renting a room within the same apartment?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Jen's father rents the rooms out.
And does Jen's father live there? Or does he lease the apartment and then sublease the rooms inside?
Well, he owns the townhouse and he rents out the rooms and charges his daughter rent.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because for some reason, I came into this towards the tail end of the investigation. For some reason, I thought he was living in that apartment like today.
No.
But, okay.
No, he was just visiting.
All right. You guys going back home tonight?
No, I booked the room for tonight.
Okay.
Go back tomorrow.
Well,
I didn't know what was going to happen today, so I booked the room for the second night.
Okay. I don't know what they're
You know what really gets me? When I left him at 3 o'clock, you know, you could see that he was physically exhausted and worn out. Matter of fact, I heard a comment when I was talking to them that he was falling asleep in the car on the way to the hotel.
Mm.
So I figured he'd get in bed, crash and burn, and that would be it. It's pretty ballsy to assume that Jed would sleep through the entire night and not wake up and find he wasn't there.
I don't disagree with you.
Because 10:45 she calls and said, "Is Stephan with you?" And I go, "No."
Yeah.
He said, "Well, he hasn't been here for 25 minutes."
And that's probably, I'm assuming, like she woke up, it's been 25 minutes, and he hadn't shown up.
Yeah, expecting him to return, and he never returned.
Yeah.
And then he showed up maybe towards 11:30. Yeah, maybe it was like 11:30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now this really, 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 really blows my mind. Obviously, something. I'm afraid to even say it. Think it.
And what's that?
There's just too many inconsistencies here, and his behavior is indicating something else is going on here. You know, why would he spend nearly 6 hours driving round trip to go to Northport to the storage unit?
Well,
I mean,
hopefully
is
we
there
may
a
be able to
possibility
figure that
the
out.
body was in Jen's car?
We're trying to figure it out.
Have you asked him?
Yeah.
Jen Soto.
Yeah, we talked to him. So.
Hey, I'm inside the building.
Let me check on them. Don't wander off too much.
What's that?
Pausing the recording at 10:15. It's a surreptitious recording with Mr. Sterns. My name's Corporal Richards. Also 10:12 with me was Corporal Evan Avilla and Kissimmee Detective.
Police continue their next interview with Chris, but this time they let him know that they have arrested Stephan.
Resuming the interview with Mr. Sterns. Still there?
Mr. Sterns.
No, go ahead.
So we were initially going to go ahead and use the consent, but we're going to kind of slow down on that aspect. We want to make sure we're doing this all the right way to do what's best for her and to make sure that we're above board on everything. So while we greatly appreciate your cooperation, we're not going to force entry in there right now. Does your wife ever go to the storage unit?
Does she what?
Ever go to the storage unit?
No. No, she's never been to that storage unit.
How does he know the code to your code to the storage unit? Is it written down somewhere?
No. So I was thinking about that earlier. So there's another incident here. So I get a call from the storage unit 2 or 3 weeks ago telling me that they were running an audit of the units because there was going to be an inspection or something, and my unit wasn't properly locked. So the way it works is that you've got this slide mechanism, unlock it and then unbolt it from the hinge, and then you have to push it back and secure it in one of the 2 holes. And they said it wasn't properly locked, and they had flagged it, and I needed to get over there and fix it. So I went over there, opened it up, looked at it, everything's fine, and then locked it properly. And I'm going to say maybe there's a 50-50 chance I did that, but I'm pretty anal about it. And so I don't know.
A 50-50 chance you did what? What do you mean?
Pardon?
A 50-50 chance you did what?
I may not have locked it properly, or maybe now that I'm aware that he possibly had a key to it, that he went into the unit.
Okay.
But nothing out of the ordinary.
Has he ever gone to the unit to help you with something and you gave
Oh, he's
him
helped me load it up, yeah.
Okay. So he could have the code for that.
Maybe he observed me punching in the code,
Okay.
which is pretty devious on his part.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
How long did it take you to get up here last night?
pretty good time.
When you say pretty good time.
There's no traffic.
So what?
None on 75 and nothing on, so I think I got up here, I'm definitely under 3 hours, but I would say at least 2.5 hours. Trying to figure out where we were going to stay because had no idea. So we found a place out there off of Western Parkway. So I think I left around midnight and got up here 2:45-ish.
all right. Well,
I can pinpoint it exactly just by looking at what time I called.
That's all right. That was kind of just
just a ballpark because we don't go down to Northport at all. Well, so we've been all very straightforward with each other. You've inferred several times that you suspect there's more going on.
Mm-hmm.
We did do a release. Your son has been arrested for sexual battery.
What?
Your son was arrested for sexual battery. Essentially rape. Okay. And that's where we're at with this investigation right now.
Obviously it wasn't Jen, but
so it's still active, so we won't get into who the victim is. But I mean, you've done this job before. I think you can reasonably infer where we're at.
yeah.
So that's kind of why things are going to slow down a little bit.
Understand.
We're
Slow the pace down.
we're slowing the pace down just a little bit. In that regard, not necessarily in the regard of trying. Okay, so we're going to be, executing a search warrant down there at the storage unit. There's no reason to break the lock. We're just going to go take a look.
So you need me there with the key to let you in?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. They'll coordinate that, and we'll coordinate with the storage unit and get that done. So that's kind of where we're at, and I'm pretty sure Jen already knew that happened. So
Jen do what?
Jen does know, correct?
Yes. So
Jen knows that he's been arrested. Jen doesn't know anything about the incident itself.
She's a little more informed, given that she direct involvement. Whether she chooses to share that with you or not.
Yeah, we're protected under law of disclosing victims' information. But we've had a long conversation, and all that.
Question for you before you go, because I don't know if the Kissimmee officer has your contact information, just so I can relay it. What is your phone number, Mr. Sterns? All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand that to the lead detectives on the case.
So you say Kissimmee, so it's not.
Initially, we believed this was going to be a sheriff's office case, and at this point, it's not looking like it's going to be a sheriff. It's going to be a Kissimmee case. Now, we are heavily involved, which is why we're all here.
Well, you got two issues you're dealing with here.
What's that?
You got the missing person that's in your jurisdiction, and then I guess the Kissimmee's handling the other issue. Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. So we're going to continue to remain involved, and that's the semantics of it, of who's investigating. But that's why we're at the Orange County Sheriff's Office today, not the Kissimmee Police Department.
So will he be transported to Kissimmee or stay here?
Eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually. So initially, he'll be at Orange County, and then eventually he'll go to Osceola.
Is there multiple counts?
Right now, there's only one count,
Okay.
but the investigation's still unfolding, so there could be more.
I don't anticipate him getting out anytime soon, so.
No.
What I would ask is that you remain available. I mean, you've been.
Because we're still trying to.
Yeah, I think you understand the gravity of what we're doing. Our first priority, and that's why we've tried to elicit this cooperation from you. Understand there probably going to be some costs at your house down there, some costs at the storage unit. We just ask that you're available for us.
So will I be interacting with Northport PD? Or?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So one of our guys is going to get a bag, and he's going to drive down there and try to get this all facilitated within the next 24 hours.
Okay.
And Northport, I believe they were going to go talk to your wife and just make sure.
Yeah, I think that was
obviously.
before.
She was there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they were there when I was talking to her. So.
All right.
What when you say available, you need me here or just
No, I mean
accessible?
Accessible.
Oh,
Be
accessible.
available by phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We as far as I know, we don't need you here for anything in Orange County. Obviously, I'm sure Jennifer needs you here, but that's up to you how you want to handle that.
Yeah.
I don't know if she has family locally, but
Jennifer has family locally, you know, so we're trying to. I got to get her back to her car.
Right.
And is she free to go back to the townhouse?
I'm not sure if we're still
shortly. She's not going to have
processing that. Her car is the white Nissan.
Nissan. We have that car.
Yeah, we have that
Oh, now
car.
she doesn't have a car, so where's she supposed to spend the night?
Without sounding callous, ideally we'd like to the plan is to release her home back to her. We don't believe we need access to the home right now. I'll get you a definitive answer here shortly.
So she can go back home tonight.
Hopefully.
I'll get you an answer for that here shortly.
Hopefully.
What about the Lincoln that you impounded? What's the status of that?
That's still being processed.
Okay. I just want to give you fair warning that it's the Poodle ambulance.
It's the Poodle ambulance.
Because we
Okay.
put the dogs in there for when they're coming in season, or they just had a litter of pups, so sometimes they get puke or blood smeared on the seats, and even though you try to clean it up, I said, I don't want somebody to get too excited and all of a sudden you pick up, you know.
We've got experts on the case.
Makes a lot of sense.
It's animal blood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before what's that?
Can you buzz me real quick and I'll go get an answer about the house.
The Poodle ambulance. Oh, thank you.
You know, you put these pads down and they still manage to like their rear
Well,
ends
of course.
leather seats, and you go, oh.
They're like kids, you know. They just poop and pee and
Yeah.
vomit all over the place when you're least suspecting. So.
Well, this has certainly been a change, 24 hours of change. I don't know whether to say I'm flabbergasted or impressed at Stephan's endeavors.
Well,
he was, as far as I knew, he was going to pass out at 3 a.m.
yeah.
It didn't take me long to crash and burn, and then to find out that he made this round trip to Northport.
Well, I can't imagine what's going through your head right now, and I do sympathize for you and your family. And
I'm pissed that he's done this to us, done this to himself, done this to us and somebody else.
it's not an unreasonable thought, not unreasonable at all.
I had no idea of the issue and what he may be capable of doing here, and it's just like it's a revelation.
Yeah.
I've always told him to respect law enforcement, and respect the law, but it appears that he's decided to live a different lifestyle. I mean, one time he got pulled over by the highway patrol, I could hear him yelling at the highway patrol, and
Right.
disrespect.
Yeah.
Don't do that. I said, they'll haul your butt up from Winter Garden to Mount Dora, and that's a long way to go. And I said, you don't want to upset the guy. The guy was very, very professional. Apparently he was driving on a maybe a registration issue or something, so I had to go up and get them because they wouldn't let them drive their car. But, and you know, it's like the old saying, you don't fool with the IRS or the Lone Ranger, and you don't fuck with the Highway Patrol. 'Cause they're not nice guys. They can be, but they're nice guys.
Oh, they're cranky, you know. They're traffic guys. They're cranky.
Give me a ticket. You know?
Yeah.
I've got plenty of warning tickets from them, so I feel
Yeah.
Feel
Yeah,
blessed.
knock on wood, right?
yeah. But okay. So what? You guys are going to arrange to get access to the storage unit.
Yes.
Okay. So you don't need to be involved. In
Yeah, we'll take care of that. Truly, you know, my thought right now is if you're available for your family, available for, you know, that kind of thing right now, and get some sleep, however hard that may be, and then we'll let you know what needs may arise, if any. So we're trying to facilitate all this, you know, least amount of, this is going to sound, intrusion in your life. So go ahead.
Yeah. What do you mean the bright home? The model home? The model home? 13. No, Luis has been there today, so no. Yeah. Yeah, he's been there all day. And he would have been there very early in the morning, or Luis would have been there around 10 o'clock, and there, he would have noticed that. Okay? Right. Everybody go. Right.
In speaking to our Kissimmee Police Department counterparts, they are not prepared to release the town hall back to her.
Oh,
So I don't have a timeline for that. I imagine they're in communication with her. She may already know that, but they are not releasing the apartment tonight.
is she still out in the car?
She should be.
She should be.
Yeah.
Oh, she called me earlier and said she's frightened to be out there.
Oh, well, I mean, it's reasonable. I mean, we're good to walk downstairs. This was just
Yeah.
kind of a debriefing.
So I'm going to the office tomorrow and spend some time there. Do you need to get together with me anytime tomorrow before I leave town and head back?
If we do, we'll contact you. If you're back in Northport, that's not an issue. We're going to have one of our detectives down there. If we need to liaison with you at some point, we'll make it happen.
Okay.
So,
They give us county cars and county gas, so we can drive.
and they have AC, not like back in the day.
Well, we have 480,
Whatever that means.
4 windows down, 80 miles an hour.
All
go.
right. That's how you got the guy going 70 in a Loma.
I had to stop and back up. Not really.
So, Mr. Stearns, we had a long, long conversation, 2 of them. Do you swear everything you told me is true?
Yeah,
Okay. Very good.
I have nothing to hide.
Very good. Well, we
You seem like a good man.
really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that your son, well, we're going down this path.
Well, like I said, I questioned my wife last night. I said, do we really know him? And she got pretty pissed at me. But I said,
Well, you're going to have to deal with when she looks at the news here soon. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
better to find out, for her to find out by looking at the news, or for you to tell her
well,
first.
we don't get. I mean,
Shouldn't get
I'm sure
Orlando
there'll be some
news,
news
right?
down there, and you know, my greatest fear is that what we can experience as far as blowback, and I'm a private person, and that really. I'm not going to say it terrifies me, but it worries me that, you know, the media frenzy and what have you, that somebody wants the angle, you know, hey, I've got the hot story today, you know.
I mean, and then my partner can probably speak better to it, but I mean, expect that you may have a car or 2 out front of your house, given, you know, that his relationship to Northport, but, you know.
I think your saving grace is that you're not in the Orlando market, right?
Right.
You're in the Tampa market, I can only imagine. You're not. Stearns isn't the most common last name, but it's not the most rare last name.
Yeah.
and you're talking about a statewide search, they'd have to do a really good job, I think, to find you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're not good at their job, but, you know.
Well, I mean, I'm out there in the public. You can just Google me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to come up because I'm in real estate. So,
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I wouldn't be concerned about that until there's a problem. And if they're out in front of your house, and you know, you can always call Northport and they can advise you. But if they're ever on your property, just tell them to leave.
Yeah.
You know, but as far as professional blowback or anything like that, it's tough for everybody to put two and two together.
Does Jen know that he made this trip this morning?
So we didn't speak to Jen. Jen
I wasn't
spoke
privy to his interviews,
Jen,
yeah.
Jen spoke to the Kissimmee Police Department. So my understanding is she is briefed very well. But that's a conversation you guys could probably have, you know, on the drive back or at some point in the near future.
I just don't see where he had the energy to do this. I mean, unless he was faking it with me at 3 a.m. this morning, I don't know where he got the effing energy. But you're telling me he was down there at 7:45 at Toledo Blade?
Yes.
I mean, 7:45, 3:45. He waited till she got up, went to sleep, and snuck out. Not long after we all said goodnight.
You can't reason. As a reasonable person, you can't understand the unreasonable. There's no way you'd be able to wrap your head around anything that he's accused of doing or that he did. There's no way that any of us would be able to, even with all of our experience in public safety, there's just no way. So.
Wow. I mean, obviously, making a move like that, there's something going on here.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get you out of here, Mr. Sterns, and you can try to get some rest. Walk it down.
Where can I throw my trash?
I'll take him down, Evan.
Okay. Wow, this has got so much hair on it now, it's unbelievable. Yeah. Jesus. What is this one?
See, these are the guys that have fallen in line of duty.
Who is this over
They had to go back in the record books.
Winter Park.
I think so.
I saw the motorcycle down in the lobby. I guess.
Yeah, that was Callan's. Yeah. He was struck by a reckless driver.
I ran into a guy that was a motorcycle cop out of California, and he did it for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Any accidents? No.
That's incredible.
I mean, how did that happen? I had a Honda 750 back in the 70s, and some old lady ran me off a 1792 into a median. I said, that's it, I'm getting rid of this.
Yeah.
And back then, the population was only 500. Somewhere between 5 and 6. And I can't imagine 22, 23 million people living on a motorcycle.
Not just that, but everybody's on their phones, everybody's listening to, there's so much more distraction.
All right, so I guess I just wait to hear from you guys. What are these guys still doing? Waiting for the latest. Cultures? Thank you. All right.
Before you go, I can't leave because you guys have impounded my car and my medications are in my car. I need them.
Okay. Where are they at in the car?
Front passenger seat.
Or like they're sitting on the front passenger seat?
I don't know if they're on the seat or on the floor, but they're inside of a plastic bag. I just need the plastic bags. It's got a rainbow clear medication, like a month-long medication box.
Okay.
Separated by days.
Okay.
I need that in order for me to do anything.
Okay.
And then there's a pill bottle in there. Just bring the whole bag of medications.
Let me go see what I can do, okay? I know it's sealed because we're processing it forensically. Is there any other way you can get a hold of this medication?
By going back to my house, but that's also sealed by forensics.
It's also sealed by forensics, yeah. Okay. Let me see what the best avenue is.
I have already,
go ahead.
Detective Andrews has already gone in there, and I told him I need my meds, so let me see what I could do. So I don't know if you guys will tag team it.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll tag team. I'll let you know as soon as possible.
You want me to hang tight?
Well, yeah, for the medicine, real quick.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah, so give me 5 minutes, I'll be back in 5.
Yeah.
It's concluding this interview with Mr. Sterns.
Following Sterns' arrest, detectives meet with Jennifer.
Reference Orange County case 24-013113. Today is February 28, 2024. Time is approximately 15:49 hours. Detective Acosta, located at Central Operations, conducting an interview with, and President is Detective Killis.
So like I told you, my name is Detective Coit at the Sheriff's Office. This is
Detective Acosta.
your correct? Your mom? Okay. And then dad lives in Texas, I'm assuming? Is that what I understand?
Yes, but he's actually on his way to Florida.
Okay. How long have you and Stephen been together?
Stephan and I have been
I'm sorry,
together.
Stephan.
It's okay. On and off for about 7 years.
7 years?
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys still currently live together?
No. He recently moved back down in December to Northport, Florida.
Okay.
His dad had offered him a job, but it fell through.
Okay.
So he's kind of stuck down there until we can financially afford to bring him back home.
Gotcha.
We are waiting for, he used to work at Disney.
Okay. What did you do at Disney?
He worked in attractions at Epcot.
Okay. And
We have to wait.
what was the job that his dad was trying to get him, do you know?
It was like construction manager or like an assistant construction manager or project manager, something like that, like an apprenticeship kind of thing.
Okay.
That fell through. So we were waiting we have to wait a specific amount of time for you to reapply to Disney again.
Okay.
From when you resigned.
Right.
So we're waiting for that time for him to reapply again so that he can come back up here.
Okay. So how often does he stay at the apartment with you guys?
So he was living with us up until December.
Okay.
And then he's visited us since December twice or 3 times since then.
And how long does he usually stay for?
Anywhere from a few days to a week.
Okay. And then he goes back down there?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm assuming he stays with his dad when he goes down there?
Yeah.
Okay. How long has he been in town recently?
He got into town Sunday evening.
This past Sunday?
Yeah.
Okay. And he was staying with you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then how is his relationship?
I would say super great. He treats her as his own child. He always has.
Okay.
They're very similar. They're both very childish. Like he loves board games, video games, arts and crafts, all that stuff.
Okay.
I'm kind of a watcher.
What do you mean?
Like I won't play the games. I'll watch them play the games.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
be
I see what you're
part of
saying.
it that way.
Yeah.
But he's more involved with that.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty great.
Okay. Do they ever go off on their own? Like you kind of do your thing and the two of them do stuff together?
Hardly ever.
Hardly ever?
It's for the most part, it's the 3 of us doing something.
Gotcha. And then when he stays, does he sleep with you, sleep on the couch, separate bedroom? What's like the sleeping arrangements like?
It depends. For the most part, he would sleep upstairs in the guest room and me would sleep in my bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
Sometimes he would come sleep in the bed, all 3 of us together.
Okay.
And rarely ever would I send them upstairs to go sleep alone away from me because I need a good night's sleep. Because if we sleep all the 3 of us together,
Oh, I can only imagine.
it's a king bed, but my kid karates, like she just...
Well, she's she's not a small baby anymore.
No, she's not. So it's just 3 humans on a bed is really uncomfortable, really tight.
About how often they would go, you would send them off on their own?
I would say would say honestly, somewhere between, I'm gonna say less than 5 times has this ever happened, right?
That's
It
fine.
hasn't been that.
And this is over the course of him visiting back and forth, correct?
You mean the sleeping arrangements
Yeah.
down alone?
Yeah.
No, that was including him living with us.
Oh, okay.
Hardly ever would I send them upstairs because I had that rule that she couldn't sleep alone with him. That's just me. I'm just very,
And then you said you and Stephan have been together for about 5 to 7 years?
7 years, yeah.
7 years, okay. So you're pretty familiar with him?
Yeah.
Okay. Whose hand does that look like to you?
I would say the Stephan's.
Is that Stephan's hand?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay. So, you and Stephan, have you guys been sexually intimate before in the past?
Yes.
So you're aware of what like his penis looks like and things like that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Does this look like Stephan's penis to you?
No.
No? Okay. What about that?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're thinking that's his penis?
Might be.
Okay.
If anything, it's not even the penis I'm recognizing, it's the things around it.
So it's the things around it that make you believe it's his penis?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have these images, and unfortunately, over the last maybe 2 or 3 years, he's been doing stuff with oral sex, vaginal sex, and things like that.
What makes you guys...
We have photos.
Okay.
We have his phone. We were able to get into his phone. And there are some very, very unfortunate graphic pictures of him conducting very sexual acts with... I wish I could tell you this was all a made-up story, but it's not. Did you ever suspect anything like this? No? You okay?
Check right now.
Okay. Can I get you anything?
Maybe some water.
Some water? You can just have it as well, if you want to take it. Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
I can't breathe.
Is this a surprise?
Is there photos of her?
Mm-hmm. Yes. So you know how we have his phone? Obviously, that's how we were able to find the photos in there.
I don't want to believe that this is true. Can I see some of that evidence?
What makes you believe that it's not?
I thought I knew him well enough.
You said you thought you knew him well enough?
So, our goal, we want to find her. Can you think of anything of where Stephan would take her? Did they have any special hangout spots? Did they have any places that they would do together while you were at work or you had other things going on in your life?
The only place they would go is hang out at home. There's no place I can think of that they've gone outside. I mean, they've gone shopping to like Target before.
Okay. but anywhere else that you can think of. What are you thinking about right now?
How this can be true? How I missed the signs?
What signs are you saying you missed?
No, like I'm just saying, if there were any signs, I didn't see any.
Right. Like these aren't, and I'm not telling you, like these aren't just Google images that we found. Like these are actual images. And I don't want you to see images of your daughter like that. I don't. But this investigation has taken us down this road. So wherever you think can be right now, we want to know so we can go get her safely.
Of course, I just have no idea.
Did Stephan ever take her back down to Newport Richie?
Newport, Florida?
Newport, Florida, I'm sorry.
Alone? No.
Alone? You guys would go together?
Yeah. Or I would drive down with and we would just hang out.
Okay. So when Stephan would not stay at the house with you guys, where else would he stay?
In his apartment in his house in Northport, Florida. That's it.
But when he would visit here, he would always stay in your house? He would never go get a hotel or stay at a friend's house or anything like that?
No, he stayed at our place.
Okay. Why did he go to Newport, Florida this morning?
This morning?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I'm just curious. I heard a rumor that he possibly went down there.
No.
I don't know. Them is maybe lost in translation.
No, he didn't. We were in the hotel. If anything, he stepped out to go get some Wawa.
Okay.
And then came back.
About how long was he gone for?
Um,
Does he have a new phone since we have his, or?
I think his dad may have handed him a new phone.
Okay, do you know the phone number to that new phone?
No.
Okay. What's his dad do?
Works in real estate. I think he's a broker.
So look, we just need any information. Any.
No, I know, but there's nothing I can give you. There's nothing I can.
Did you communicate with Stephan on the new phone with your phone?
No.
No?
I just want to. I believe you. I want to believe you, but I won't believe you until I see actual images of my child.
Are you sure you want to see that? I'll go get it. Are you sure you want to see that? And as a parent, take my word of advice. I wouldn't, blow smoke up your butt and tell you, that's a fake picture. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't. I'm gonna be dead honest with you. I'll be more than happy to show you those images, but I know as a parent, I don't know if I would want to see those. But if you want to see them, that's your own prerogative.
Can you tell me what's being done in the photos?
She has a penis in her mouth. And that picture that you said that the stuff identified that Stephan's penis around her, I zoomed in on that photo because in that picture has a penis in her mouth. Do you need any more water? Are you okay?
I literally thought I was coming here for the press conference, but this is not what we're here for.
I know, and it's unfortunate that these are the details that we found, but I think it's very important now that we kind of sit back, evaluate everything, and kind of think every step of the way where Stephan has been with in the past, where he can be right now, because at the end of the day, we want to go get her.
Yeah, of course. Oh my God. If I knew anything, I would tell you. I just have no fucking idea where you could be.
So I know that.
Could be.
Say again. I'm sorry.
Or any idea where she could be. I said they, but
yeah,
he's here. Was there any? The video footage that was caught at the church, What exactly was seen? I've heard from other people, but I just...
Do you know much?
It looked like someone around age that walked by, but it's inconclusive whether it was or not. Right? It was too grainy. The video was not. You couldn't determine who it was in the video, pretty much. So we don't know that she walked by that church. So the last person that saw was Stephan.
Yeah. So we want to know because he's the last person to see her. He claims to have dropped her off at this church before school. Unfortunately,
Or close to the church.
Or close to the church. You know, unfortunately, we know she doesn't go to school that day. You try and go pick her up. What did after Stephan dropped her off? Did he come back home? About how long was he gone for during drop off?
I want to say from 8:30 to like 10:15 because around 10:15 or 10:20 is when I got a phone call stating that he got home. He had gone to the vape shop, but I don't know if they weren't open or not yet. So he left.
Okay.
And then hung out around the house and waited till I got back for my doctor's appointment.
So he came back home.
Yeah, he did come back home.
Okay.
He grabbed his phone and called me from the house at that point. He had let me know that he accidentally left his phone. He was waiting for the vape store to open, but they never opened, or something like that. And then he went back home just to give it time, and then he went back out later.
Okay. So from 8:30 to 10:15, that's when he's saying the vape shop was closed and he came back home?
I think so. Something. I mean, I know he was killing time. He does this. He'll just like to aimlessly drive around to kill time. I believe him when he says that he was killing time. Or at least I did believe him.
What's like usually, how long does it take to go do her drop off and come back?
Like 45 minutes.
Okay. So
45, 50 minutes.
So give or take an hour.
Yeah.
So he should have been back home by like 9:30ish.
Yeah.
Okay. But then there's like 45 minutes to 30 minutes of a gap in time there.
Yeah.
Where could he have gone?
He says he was driving around aimlessly, just killing time.
Okay. So then he comes home, let's just say around 10:15 is what you're saying. What time did you get home from your doctor's appointment?
I'm gonna say somewhere between 11 and 11:20.
And then did he leave again?
Yes.
How do you know he was home? Because you got the call.
Because I got the call and I think I saw him when I got home.
Okay. And then what time did he leave again to go to the vape shop?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure what time he left.
And then...
Oh, actually, hold on, let me think.
Do you guys have a Ring at your house? A Ring doorbell? Do you have any video doorbell system? Do you have any cameras in the house?
No. I'm gonna say... he left around somewhere between 12:30 and 1 o'clock, because I remember looking at the time going, I don't think he's going to be done in time running his errands to be back by 2:30 when I need to leave to go get him.
Okay.
And he said he ran his errands, he stopped at a few comic shops or game stores or something like that. Then he got a flat tire somewhere on 182. He doesn't remember exactly where. I remember him telling me he hurt himself changing the spare tire.
How did he hurt himself?
Something slipped while he was doing something with what's the crank that pops up that brings
the lift or
yeah
you know
what I'm talking about.
The jack.
Something slipped and his finger got caught between the frame and the jack, I think, so
Okay.
he had to pull out his finger. So I know he's got a band-aid on his finger right now because of that.
So what time do you leave the house to go pick up?
2:30.
2:30?
Yeah, she gets out at 4. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to school, and then I wait about an hour and 10 minutes.
Yeah, for the car line and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like to be the first in line.
So at what point did you think, something's up?
Around 4:10, when she did not come out of school and I was the first in line, I was holding up the line. I'm the first in line, there's cars behind me, and they already have their kids.
Right.
So when I noticed she had not come out, I drove away thinking, maybe I missed her. Maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up from school today because I have a new work schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you do for work again? I'm sorry.
I work at
Okay.
I just recently, that's the biggest reason I even called Stephan, was to come help me this week with her getting her to school, helping with the dog. That's the whole reason I even called him, was to come help me.
And what car did he come up in from down there in?
In his dad's Cadillac.
Okay. All right. So you kind of get some concerns when she's not coming out.
She's not coming out, so I drove to my mom's office along the same path she would have walked. I didn't see her. Got to my mom's office. I asked my mom, is she here yet? She goes, no. And I said, oh, maybe I missed her. Maybe
Does she
still...
sometimes walk home from school?
Yeah, she does.
To
my mom's office, yeah.
Gotcha. And then you pick her up from there?
Yeah.
Okay.
She didn't make it. So I drove back to... I think at this point I had called her best friend to ask, hey, is with you? Because I went to pick her up from school and I didn't see her.
Right.
And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period.
Okay.
And I was like, can you please check with your other friends to see if she made it to her other periods?
Mm-hmm.
I think at this point I emailed her teacher.
Right. Do you know if she has a Snapchat?
I don't believe so, no.
Okay. She just has the Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay. So after you go to your mom's office, you realize she's not there either. Is this when you go home?
No, I go back to the school drive the path again to see if I missed her. And then I go back to the school to check their attendance because her friends are telling me she never made it. But when I got to the school was already closed.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove back. I think at this point I had gotten a response from one of her teachers telling me she never made it to my period, and then he checked the attendance for the rest of the day and she never made it to any of her periods.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is when I start to panic and freak out because I know something is wrong. So I call. Sorry, I just thought about that image.
It's okay. Take your time.
So I called 911.
So you called 911?
Or I don't know if I did or my sister did, but somebody called 911.
What was Stephan's reaction when you said you were calling 911?
I called him and I said, she never made it to school. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, she got dropped off. I was like, you dropped her off? She never made it to school.
Mm-hmm.
I said, please come to the office right now. He goes, okay, I'm heading there right now. So he hauled ass, came to the office.
And you're driving your car and he was driving his car?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he made it to the office, and then we started calling. I was talking to 911, waiting for the cops, kept calling them back, kept trying to figure out where she might be.
Mm-hmm.
We were both sitting there pretty upset, pretty distraught, just thinking of the worst case scenarios. Eventually, we found out that there were also 2 other missing children in the area, and that all the cops had gone to a park. So one of my family members went to the park to speak to an officer, to try to get an officer to come back to the office, and he did. And then he took our report.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 7:30, I think.
Monday night?
Yeah.
And what's Stephan's kind of demeanor been since then?
He's been absolutely a mess.
Do you think he would ever hurt?
I don't think he would, no.
Okay. I understand.
Like I believe you when you talk to me about those images.
Mm-hmm.
Those images might be real, or they've happened, but I don't believe they're related to this case. I don't think.
It's been going on it's been going on since she's been. And I wish I could say, you know, it's not true. It's not. I mean, we have images. We have them. I looked at them. This goes all the way back to 2022. Some of those pictures. I understand it's a lot to take in right now. I can only imagine what you're going through, but we need to know literally everything. I mean, at the end of the day, like I've told you many, many times, the sheriff's office main goal here, we want to find and bring her back home. That's what we want. But we need your help. We can only do so much. You're with her on a daily basis. You understand the relationship. You understand everything. But at the end of the day, we just need to know. Did he make any mention of going anywhere, taking her somewhere when he came into town? I know you said they like to play games together.
No, he wasn't taking her or going anywhere.
Okay. And prior to coming up Sunday, when's the last time he's been here?
I'm gonna say it's been over a month.
Okay. Has she ever made any comments to you about sex or anything like that? Being abused or anything like that? Hold on one second.
Sorry, just 1 second.
So there might have been a little bit of miscommunication here, but a Kissimmee police officer detective is going to come speak to you about everything that we just talked about, okay? So they're going to come talk to you with an Orange County detective. So I don't want to go too much further into it with you because they're going to go a little bit deeper. They know a lot more than I do, okay? So they'll be able to explain a little bit more to you. Is that fair? In the meantime, do you need to use the bathroom or anything? It's okay. Take your time. Do you need any more water? Okay.
Are they coming here to interview?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you're not gonna have to go anywhere.
I don't want to see those images, but I do. I feel like I need proof evidence, but like I'm afraid of being traumatized forever, so I'm not sure what to do.
That's okay. And the Kissimmee detective, we'll go over everything with you, okay? Can I get you anything? How long have you been working at for?
Less than 2 weeks.
Oh, so you just started there?
Yeah.
Are you just like in training, or how does it work?
Yeah, I'm training.
Okay. What'd you do before that?
I was a substitute teacher for a little bit, but for the most part, for the last few years, I've just been living off disability.
Okay. I'll be right back.
You okay? It's your head?
Oh, just a lot of anxiety. Just thinking about how I didn't know. I didn't see anything. Let's say all the sexual stuff did happen, or we know it happened. What if he's telling the truth about dropping her off and driving away and driving around in circles and getting to the vape shop? Is there video evidence of him in front of the vape store? Because I know there's banks around, right in that same plaza. There must, and an Amscot. There must be video of him pulling into that plaza and waiting.
What do you mean? What's your question?
If you guys have found evidence of him being in front of the store like he said he was, like it's possible that his story might be true and somebody else could have taken her. Like I'm just thinking, like, what if we're focusing, like, okay, the sex things happened, right? But what if that's completely a side thing and not having to do with this, like her missing?
Yeah.
What if
I got you.
else?
So just like Detective Khalees explained, that's why the Kissimmee detective and the Orange County detective are going to come and talk to you about it. Obviously, it's two different things that we're talking about, but they may be tied together. They may not. We're not sure. But that's why we want to talk to you and get as much information as possible. That's what the detectives are going to come and talk to you and, try to help us out. Get as much information.
Am I allowed to talk to my sister right now?
Right now, just hang on for right now, until after they're done.
I think I'm at the press conference, but I don't know. Can you tell me? You weren't there. I just want to know what was said at the press conference. What did I miss?
They'll let you know. What are you worried about that you missed?
Nothing, just if there's a new piece of information that I haven't heard or something. But I know you guys are keeping me in the loop or
Yeah.
something.
Mm-hmm.
I just keep hoping. Just hoping she's still out there and she's still alive. I don't think Stephan would have done anything to her. But I just got a text from Stephan's staff asking where he could, because I guess he was at the conference.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's just waiting.
Okay.
He's asking where he could wait.
He can wait either in the front it's the west lobby. So it's the one where the big flagpoles are in. It's the main entrance. Or he can wait in the car.
In the west lobby, the main entrance with all the flags?
Yeah, with the big flagpoles. It's the one that says Orange County Sheriff's Office right at the front. It's on the easiest way to find it. It's on the Colonial Drive side.
Is Colonial Drive this road right here?
It's not the one that you guys came through. It's the other one. The one that goes east to west.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Hello, my name is Mark. I work with the Kissimmee Police Department. Okay, great.
Thank you. That's your work phone?
No.
Is that what?
But that's the.
Okay, thank you.
So the reason I am here, or we are here, is because we think when went missing, you live in our city limits. Okay. So that's the reason we got involved now. Okay, you understand?
Yeah.
All right, so I understand you probably answered a lot of questions and you've got a lot of stuff going on. I am apologizing now. I may ask you the same things that you've already been asked. That's just because I like to hear it for myself. Okay, and I know you've been speaking with her quite a bit, but we want to do what we can to find as soon as possible. Okay, so that's our main focus right now. All right. So, but before I get started, your first name is right?
Yes.
And your last name is? What's your telephone number? And you live? Is that right? Okay. What apartment number is that? Okay, so I'm gonna ask you, and once again, I apologize. So on Monday, you should have gone to school. Is that right? Okay. So tell me how that morning went. Actually, let's go the night prior. So
night prior, she had a party at my mom's house. I couldn't be there because I was at work.
where do you work at? Okay.
She had a party, she had a good time, she spent the entire time with my family. Later that evening around 8:30, my sister dropped her off at my house. And she started getting ready for bed, or doing her nighttime routine, which is take her meds and get in the shower. About 10 minutes after she arrived, Stephan arrived. And he let me know that she was doing what she was supposed to be doing.
Stephan is?
My boyfriend.
Your boyfriend, okay.
He arrived. He made sure she was doing what she needed to be doing. I got home around 10:30 and saw that she was almost ready for bed. I ate, we talked for a little bit, asked how the party was to show me her gifts, how everything went. And then she went to bed.
And this is around, you said around 10:30 she went to bed?
Around 11.
11, okay.
At this point, I sent them. We have 2 bedrooms. We're a 4-bedroom townhouse, but there's a bedroom and a guest bedroom.
Okay.
I sent them upstairs to the guest bedroom because I had not slept well the night before. I had forgotten my psychiatric meds and I was feeling off. I was not feeling okay. So when I got home from work, I said, guys, I need a good night's sleep. They all wanted to sleep in my bed, all 3 of us together.
Okay. Is that normal?
Yeah, for us to do that, yeah.
Okay.
When he's not around, he sleeps with me. If he's around, he'll sleep upstairs sometimes in the guest bedroom or with us in our bed. But the 3 of us on my bed is pretty uncomfortable. It's a king, but my child sleeps like a monkey. She just kicks and punches.
Well, mine are too, I know.
Yeah. Chill up on one side and wake up on the other. It's just, yeah. So I asked them to sleep upstairs that night to give me a good night's sleep. And they said okay, they would. And from what as far as I'm aware, they went upstairs. They went to sleep. I was woken up around, I want to say 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday by Stephan trying to put the leash on the dog to walk him. And I got up to try to help him with it, but Stephan got it and walked him and told me to go back to bed, so I went back to bed.
Okay.
I heard people in the kitchen. I'm not sure exactly who because I do have roommates and they're up at all hours. So I heard somebody in the kitchen. I assumed it was getting ready for school. Left her phone on her nightstand. I know she walked into the kitchen, into her bedroom to get ready and all that because she left her phone on her dresser in her bedroom. And I know she did that while she was getting ready that morning.
Now, what is considered her bedroom? Where?
In the living room.
Okay.
We've got like a little wall partition, and she's got a bedroom in the living room. It's got a bed, a dresser, a desk, and a TV. She doesn't sleep there though. She just hangs out there during the day. That's her space. She'll hang out there. Yeah, she got ready, supposedly, and they were off. They left to school early. I'm not sure what time they left.
What time does her school start, do you know?
She's got to be at school at the latest by 9:28.
What, do you know what time her school starts?
9:28.
Okay. Okay.
From what I was told, he dropped her off somewhere between 8:30 and 8:45, or somewhere along that line, around that time.
And Stephan told you this?
Actually, that timeline might be from what the cameras, the church cameras you guys have told me about, but we don't know if that was really her, so I'm not sure about the timeline anymore. He said he went, I think he had given me a timeline of, he dropped her off somewhere between 8:20 and 8:45, but he's not sure exactly what time.
Okay.
He said they were making good time that morning. He was like super impressed with how quickly she got up, got ready, and was out the door. I know she wanted to meet up with her friends at school early. And I know
Did she tell you that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know she wanted McDonald's early that morning for breakfast. But Stephan said she was asleep in the car for the majority of the car ride, and he kept trying to talk to her and talk her into getting McDonald's. But she kept saying, no, just drop me off. So this is where she got dropped off somewhere on the road, close to school, and then I don't know what happened to her. But this is what I was being told happened that morning.
Gotcha. And then you went to pick her up after school, is that right?
Yeah. I left the house at 2:30. School is not let out till 4 o'clock, but it takes me about 20 minutes to drive, 25 minutes. And then I wait that hour outside. I like being the first car in line. I like being the first
Because it'll take you an hour to get through the line if you know.
Exactly. So I like being the first parent. I waited that hour and something minutes for 4 o'clock to show. 4:04 is when the bell rings. Waited there until like 4:10 and she didn't come out. That only sounds like a few minutes, but in those few minutes, the cars behind me got full of children. I'm the first in line, so there's cars behind me already picking up their children. They're waiting to get out. So I felt pressured and rushed, so I decided to drive away. I'm like, she's not here, something's wrong. Or maybe I forgot to tell her that I was picking her up. Maybe she just decided to walk to my mom's office. She'll do this sometimes. This is pretty close to the school. So I decided to drive along the path that she would have walked. And I drove to my mom's office and I asked, has she made it? And they said, no. And I said, okay, let me drive the path again and see if I see her along the way. Drive along the path, I park on the road where she would be walking, and I waited there for about 15 minutes and nothing. She didn't appear. At this point, I returned back to the office. She should have been at the office by this point. It's like 4:35. She did not appear. So at this point, I call her best friend and I asked her best friend, hey, is with you? I don't think I told her I was coming to pick her up, but she's not walking or she's not at school. And she said, no, she never made it to first or second period. And I said, what do you mean she got dropped off? And she's like, she never made it to first or second period. I said, can you please check with your other friends to see if she made it to her other periods? At this point, I start panicking and I drive back to the school to check her attendance, but the school office had already closed. So
What time was this?
This is around 4:45.
Okay. And the school was closed already?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think they closed at like 4:30. I went to the school, I rang the bell, they were closed, nobody was opening the door. So we decided to leave. But I had already emailed one of her teachers. I think when I had spoke to her best friend, I had emailed the teacher. The teacher confirmed that she never made it to his period and never made it to any of her other periods that day. He checked her attendance for the whole day. When he told me this, I realized something was really wrong. It was truly wrong. And I called, I didn't call, my sister called 911. I started having a panic attack. And
what time was
out.
this?
I'm gonna say around 4:45, 4:50.
Okay.
And yeah, I called Stephan. I asked Stephan, like, did you drop her off? He said, yeah, why? I'm like, she never made it to school. He's like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, I don't know. Just come to my mom's office. She's not here. She's not here. And he drove immediately to the office and then waited with me while we called 911. I was having a panic attack, trying to stay calm, but it was really hard. I think we waited about 3 hours for the police to show up. I think 2 children had gone missing around the same time in a park nearby, so all the cops were answering that call. Eventually a family member went over to the park and spoke to an officer and let him know, hey, there's another missing child, please come take the report. So they followed him and brought him to the office, and then he took down our statements and made the report, and then everything, the process started. They were there for, I'm gonna say 1 to 2 hours, and then it was time to go home.
Okay. So ever since then, since the officer took the report, or the deputy took the report, have you been looking for, have you been driving around?
I've been staying at home just in case she comes home.
Okay.
My family, I have a huge family. They've been driving around, they've been walking the walking path behind the school. They've been handing out, they've handed out like 1,000 flyers already. They're the ones who contacted the news.
Has she gone missing before?
Never.
She never ran away, even if it's for a couple hours or anything like that? Okay. So when you physically or talked to her, it was the night before?
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. And how was she then? What was her demeanor?
Happy. She had the best party. She loved her presents, her gifts. She had a lot of money. So she was showing me all that. Yeah.
Okay. So how was her sleeping habits? I know you said she was up and at 'em in the morning. Is she, because some kids like to sleep all day, some kids get up and then they're ready to go. What's she like?
So when she sleeps with me and I have to wake her up, she's difficult. She'll snooze 3-4 times. We'll hit the alarm a few times, let it ring, and then go back to sleep, and then let it ring, and then go back to sleep. When it's her waking up herself and she sets her own alarms on her phone, which is what I think she did that morning, she usually gets up pretty quickly. She doesn't snooze. She'll get up, she'll immediately go do what she needs to do, and then she'll either lay back down in bed and snooze until it's time to go, or yeah, just be ready to go.
Do you take her to school?
Yeah.
Okay. When you take her to school, where do you drop her off at?
At the school.
Okay, so you pull in through the line and drop her off at the front and stuff like that. When she goes to school, when you take her to school, is she talkative in the car, or what does she do on the way there?
Not Not really. She'll be on her phone. We'll listen to the radio station, or listen to some Taylor Swift. Yeah, she's pretty quiet. Or she'll be snoozing, sleeping.
Yeah. Okay. So going back to Stephan, was Stephan at the party?
No.
No. Okay.
He was traveling from Northport, Florida to
Where's Northport?
Sarasota County.
Oh, okay. And he got here when?
So if she got dropped off around 8:30, he probably showed up around 8:45.
Did you know he was coming?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys hung out? What did you guys do that night? Okay.
Yeah. What did we do that night? I only spent about 30 minutes with them because I had to go to sleep. I had to take my meds and go to sleep. And I know that they need to go to sleep because they have to go to school, or she had to go to school. I usually like making bedtime around 10:30. So when I got there and she was still up, I understood why she was still up. She was waiting for me and wanted to show me all her presents and stuff. But by 11, I was just like, you guys need to go to bed. It's late. Like, it's super late. Sorry.
Is it normal if he comes to see you that he wouldn't sleep with you, or?
Yes, it's normal for him to sleep upstairs in the guest bedroom.
Okay. What makes it different from when he sleeps with you, or the three of you, or upstairs by himself?
It all depends on the circumstance of what's going on. For the most part, if it's a school week and me and have to go to school, I send him upstairs because I know that my alarms are going to go off multiple times super early in the morning and I don't want to wake him up. And it's difficult to wake up, so I have to constantly be talking to her, shaking her. So for the most part, it's me in the bed downstairs and he goes upstairs.
What made it different that night?
The fact that I forgot my bipolar meds Saturday night. And I was not acting normal Sunday. And I realized Sunday night, oh my God, I forgot my meds Saturday night, which is why I've been so freaking weird today. I'm like, I need to take these meds and I need to sleep. I need like a good night's sleep. I can't wake up early in the morning. I can't take her. I can't do any of that. Like, I need you to do it. That's primarily the reason I told him to come from Northport, Florida to help me was this week because of training at work. I needed help. I needed support. So I invited him up to help me with that.
How long have you guys been together?
On and off for a total of 7 years.
Okay. Did you work on Monday?
No, I was off.
You were off, okay. So Monday during the day, what would you do throughout the day?
I had a blood work appointment at 10:15, 10:30. That took a little while to be seen.
Did Stephan go with you?
No. He was not home. He had not gotten home by the time I left.
Do you remember what time you left?
Around, I think 9:30.
And where was your blood work at?
About 15 minutes away.
Which way? Towards Kissimmee or Orlando?
Towards Orlando. It's on the border of Kissimmee, Orlando. It's in the loop. It's across the street from the loop. There's a doctor plaza there. There's a LabCorp there. So I went to LabCorp and I got blood work done.
Okay.
Waited there for a while. Then I must have gotten home sometime between, I would say 11:15, 11:30, something like that, or from 11 to 11:30 sometime. And he was there. But before that, while I was at my blood work appointment, he actually called me. He said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I left my phone at home. I was running some errands. We did great this morning. We made super great time. She got ready super fast. We left super early. I offered her McDonald's multiple times, but she refused. So she asked to be dropped off early. And so he did."
Did she ever go to school? Did she ever ask to go? Because sometimes kids don't want to go to school, period. Is
Yeah.
it normal for her to ask to be dropped off early?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
She's asked me multiple times to ask to drop her off early. She wants to meet up with her friends, or she wants to get there earlier and earlier, just to meet up with her friends.
But you still drop her off at the school?
Yes.
Okay. So she hangs out with her friends within the school?
Yes.
Okay.
The only reason I think he did not take her to school directly that morning is because she has voiced multiple times, "Hey, is Stephan taking me to school? Can you please drop me off far away?" She's embarrassed by his car. It's a Cadillac, it's not that old, but to her it's an old hoopty. She can't be seen in it. She doesn't want to be seen in it. So she's made that comment before, "Please drop me off far away, I want to walk." But yeah. When you look at the car, to me it looks like a normal car. It looks old, but
Gotcha. Okay, so what's your and Stephan's relationship like?
so it's a little complicated. I want to say we're on again, off again. When he had moved back down to Northport in December, we were broken up, but we still kissed. We're still affectionate.
Why did you guys break up? If you don't mind me asking.
Because in my eyes, he's very childish. Well, not childish. He's just very sloppy. He's very messy. He doesn't clean up after himself. He doesn't help around the house or contribute. And I felt like I was the only one doing the household chores and the cleaning and the cooking and stuff. And I'm just like, listen, I know I'm disabled and I don't work, but I kind of, it needs to be fair. Like, you need to help me out and be a partner. And I didn't feel like he was being a partner. Yeah, that's pretty much why. There's nothing major happened, anything like that. It's just my feelings of, I was just tired of cleaning up after him and tired of not having the partner that I wanted.
And when you guys got back together, or on and off, as you said, that's been since he's left, or just more recent?
I'm gonna say more recent. We were still kissing while we were broken up and all that. So
Would he come here? Would you go there?
he would come here. He's only been gone for the last 2 months. So he's come here those few times.
Okay. What about your guys' sexual relationship?
I haven't wanted to have sex in a very long time, but that's due to my psychiatric medications. It just completely kills anything down there. It's not enjoyable. It's not fun for me. So I don't have sex, and I think that was a big problem not a big problem, but of course an issue in our relationship.
Did he ever mention that to you?
Exactly did he mention? I know he had told me he was like, frustrated, I guess. I'm gonna use the word frustrated. But I know he's had sexual relations with other people. But I'm not bothered by that. That's whatever he needs to do. Yeah.
Well, obviously there's a little bit of, actually, I don't want to get to that yet. Who drives your car?
Primarily me. On Monday night, he drove my car.
Monday night when?
After we went to bed, after the cops had been called and all that, he took my car and decided to drive around to see if he could keep searching for her, looking for her, seeing if there was anything that.
What time was that, do you remember?
I don't know. I know he took my car and left because when I got into the front seat of the car had been adjusted. And he's like, remember I said I was gonna go out? And I'm like, yeah, that's right. You did tell me that you were gonna go out. I just don't remember. He never told me what time or anything. But he did mention earlier Monday I'm gonna drive around. I can't just sit at home. I need to be looking for her. And I'm just like, okay, that's fine.
You don't remember if that was in the evening or like sometime before midnight, after midnight?
Oh, before midnight.
Okay.
I go to bed. Well, that was Monday night. Not sure what time I went to bed Monday night. I want to say before midnight because I had to take my meds and I had to go to sleep. They only work if I take them the right way, my meds. So I have to follow a strict routine with them. Yeah, I'm going to say it was before midnight.
Okay, and then when you got into your car, when you didn't notice that the car was, or the seat was back?
Yesterday, whenever we got kicked out of the house, whenever they told us we couldn't go back in, forensics was coming. Yeah, I got into the car and I was like, oh, the seat's adjusted. I'm like, did you get in it? He's like, yeah, I took a drive last night, remember? I'm like, oh yeah, you did. You told me that.
So Monday night, did you ever come here to the sheriff's office Monday night?
No.
No? Okay. Did Stephan come here?
I don't think
That
so.
you know of? Okay. Do you know? Were they talked to here or?
No, they were talked at her mom's place of business originally where they did the report. And then we have been in contact with her at her apartment. But that was after the initial report was made.
That was last night?
Yes. Yesterday, the other detective, Frank, responded around 10 o'clock in the morning and started looking at the school. I'm not sure when the initial contact was made with her. I want to say it was like around 11 or 12, right? At your apartment. And we've been in contact with her since then.
Okay. All right. Now, I understand that a detective recently showed you some pictures of not so pleasant things. Okay. What was discussed at that point?
They asked me if I recognized the penis. In one image I didn't. In the other image, not that I recognized the penis exactly, but I recognized the things around the penis. And
Like what, clothing or?
clothing and like a pillowcase
Okay.
that was like underneath the penis in the picture. So I recognized that.
Did he explain to you where those images came from?
He said Stephan's one. Correct.
Did he explain to you the content of those pictures?
Just explain that they were in his phone, that there's evidence that they've been sexually active or doing things since she.
What's Stephan's relationship with? What's their relationship like?
I was gonna say really good, super great. He treats her like one of his own. He's always been super sweet and kind to her, very accepting, warming, understanding of her because she's got ADHD, so she's kind of a little, I'll say abnormal. In the sense like she doesn't act like every other kid, but you have to have extra patience and understanding for her. And he does that really well.
And she's now, right, from what I understand? When she's around Stephan, does she act any different?
No, she's happy. She's like, hey, how are you? But she doesn't act any differently or weirder than me.
There's no really easy way to ask this, but do you think it's possible that Stephan and her are having sexual relationship?
Before those images, I would have said absolutely not. But if you're telling me that on the other side of that penis that they showed me was her with her mouth, then there's nothing else I can believe. That has to be true. But before that evidence, I would have said no.
Has Stephan always been, like, when you guys communicate and talk, or have you ever caught him in any kind of lies or not being truthful or anything like that?
No.
So he's been honest about everything, as far as you know?
As far as I know, yeah. I've never had to question. If I've had questions, I've had answers. So it was never. I never suspected anything.
How long have you been living?
I've lived in that house on and off.
Okay, so 13 years, roughly. So, where else did you live other than that?
For a little while, I moved into my mother's house during COVID.
Where did she live? Okay.
And then during COVID, it was another situation where he got promised the job down there and it didn't happen. We moved down there, got an apartment, and lived there for somewhere between 6 to 8 months. And then
Moved down where?
I'm sorry, to Port Charlotte, Florida,
Okay.
which is next to Sarasota County. It's in Charlotte County. We moved down to Port Charlotte during the whole COVID, where everyone was quarantining time. We moved during that time and stayed in Port Charlotte.
What about Stephan? How long has Stephan lived in?
I'll say on and off for 7 years or 6 years. The first year we were dating, we were just, he was still staying at his parents.
Where does his parents live?
At the time, they lived in Winter Garden, Florida, but now they live in Northport, Florida. That's who he lives with down there.
Oh, okay. What about family? Any other family around here?
Who, him? No. I think he's got distant relatives, but nobody he's ever talked to like that.
What about friends, or you guys have friends? Are all your friends in?
All of his friends are in Northport, Florida. He made a big group of gaming friends down there. He's got some coworkers he talks to here.
Sorry.
Oh shit, sorry, I'm so sorry. I have a horrible potty mouth.
So also we were talking about Stephan's relationship with her. When you and how do you and your daughter communicate? Like if you aren't in the same room?
How do we communicate?
Like texts?
No, we speak to each other.
Okay, so you call each other on the phone?
If she's in the same room?
No, if you guys aren't in the same room.
Oh.
Like if she's out with her friends or you're at work or...
Call or text, but she's really bad about responding. She'll put her phone on silent or do not disturb. And sometimes she'll respond, sometimes she won't.
Okay. How do you and Stephan normally communicate?
Via Google Meet, which is the video, not FaceTime, but the video chat for Android.
Okay.
We'll video chat pretty much all day.
Okay. Does and Stephan ever talk on the phone?
Yeah.
How do they do that? How do they normally communicate?
Video chat as well.
Okay.
But when she's on video chat, she's video chatting next to me, and we're all part of the conversation. They never go off on by themselves and have their own conversation. It's always all of us together.
Okay. Do they talk quite a bit? Do you know?
See, well, I'll say yes because we're all in the conversation together, and we stay on the phone for hours together. So yeah. But that's all of us together.
Got it. Normal times of the day. I know kids sometimes are up late at night talking on the phone or anything like that. If Stephan's in Northport at home or with his parents, and you guys are here, and you guys are all talking, is it when normal people talk, or in the early in the morning, or
After school and before bedtime.
okay? Do you know if ever has conversations with Stephan outside of your presence? Like, do they talk on the phone?
It's possible, but if I'm at home, I would know.
Gotcha.
Okay. She's always in my bedroom. She's hanging out in my bedroom or in her space, but I can hear her in her bedroom, or I can hear her from my bedroom, so I would know.
Okay. Now this is kind of going to get into a sensitive subject, which I apologize. But there were images on his phone of them two being involved in a relationship. Now, has she ever disclosed to you or anything like that? If anything like that has happened between them? No. Okay. Has he ever mentioned to you, like, is he into any kind of, like, does he watch porn or any that you know of?
I'm sure he does, but
does he watch it around you, or? Okay. I know some relationships, girlfriends go on guys' phones, guys go on girls' phones just to be nosy. Do you do any of that sort of thing, or does he do that to your phone or anything like that? Okay.
we pretty much respect each other's privacy.
What about you and phone? You ever go through her phone at all?
Sometimes, but not as much as I should probably. But yeah.
Because you trust her.
Yeah, I've gone through her phone before though.
Okay. Anything abnormal that you would see in her phone?
That I thought, no.
Not that you thought, or?
No, I'm saying like if I've never seen anything,
Gotcha.
no. But I'm saying if
Okay.
you guys saw something, then I missed it.
No, I'm not saying that we have.
Okay.
No. Stephan's phone is a different story.
Just going back to the comment you made about how you know that he was sexually active with someone else during your relationship, how did that come about?
Because we had broken up, and I found out about it later. But there was a girl he had been hanging out with, a coworker. This is about over a year ago. He started hanging out with a coworker, and I had suspicions that they were sleeping together, but I would ask, and he wouldn't confirm or say anything like that. But he didn't confirm until a few months later that, yeah, they in fact did sleep together, and I was just like, well, okay, good to know. I was just checking to see if I had slept with him after that, and like, do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to have sex with him after he's had sex with somebody else. So, when he told me that, I was just checking with myself to see if that had happened, and it hadn't, so.
And this got brought up on a conversation of you asking him if he was sexually active with someone during your breakup, or did you find something in his phone, or was he texting off to the side?
No, it was a
or?
conversation that we had, and he just told me.
Was it a cordial conversation, or were you guys angry, or?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, when was the last time you guys were sexually active?
December of not December 2023, but December 2022.
Okay.
At that point, I had decided that I wasn't interested in sex. I wasn't. My meds just really affected me, and I was just like, you know what? I think it took a while to figure out that it was my meds. I was trying to figure out if it was like my hormones or my body, like what was going on, but it was just meds. Narrowed it down to that. So when I realized that what was happening, I just had to accept it, because it's either come off my meds or fix my sex drive. Well, come off my meds, fix my sex drive, or stay on my meds. I'm gonna stay on my meds. Like, I need to stay stable. So, yeah.
Where have you guys been staying? I know you said they kicked you out of your apartment or whatever, but while they were at your apartment, where were you guys staying?
At a hotel right off a Disney property, Home Suites by Marriott or something like that, on Western Way, off of 429.
Okay. So you and Stephan have been together pretty much the whole time after. Have you guys always been together, or has there been times that you stay at the hotel or you working, then him be out by himself?
When I woke up this morning, he wasn't there, and he was gone for about an hour. But he came back and he said he had gotten some Wawa, and then he got lost because he didn't have his GPS or phone on him or anything like that. Took him a while to get back to the hotel, but he found us eventually. I wondered that. I was just like, he left the hotel and didn't have a phone on him, didn't tell me where he went. I'm like, how is he going to find his way back? I don't think he even paid attention to how I got here because I'm the one who drove. I'm the one who knew where the hotel was. I'm just like, I don't know if he's going to figure it out, but he did. But he was gone for about, I wouldn't say an hour.
Okay. I don't think everything else right now.
I feel like I'm. Can I see that image of? Can I see that image of my daughter with the penis in her mouth? Because I feel like, unless I'm not gonna believe it until I have confirmation, and I'm always gonna have doubts unless I actually see it myself. And I don't want to leave here today and never have the opportunity again. Like I want to.
No, I don't mind showing you, but they are difficult things to see from a parent. You understand? Okay.
Just the one image.
I'm not sure which picture they showed you earlier. I don't think we might have the same pictures. We do have different pictures, but I don't know if I have the same one that the other detective showed you.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Do you still want to look?
Yes. Am I gonna clearly see her face?
Yes.
And prior to this, have you known her to be sexually active with any boyfriends or friends?
That one right there is enough.
You saw through the picture?
I could, but you can turn it around if you want.
Is that? You recognize anybody else that may be in that photo? I know basically it's only genitalia, but is there anything else in that photo that stands out to you?
No.
Anything in the background?
Is this a picture of a picture? Is this a picture of a phone? Like, is this background
Yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me see. Nothing I recognize in the background. It's not much. There's not much space.
If you don't mind asking, who keeps calling?
Everyone. The
The
news.
family and everything?
My family. They're all trying to figure out if I was the news. Because last they heard, I was going to the news conference and that I was going to watch that, but that's not happening. So they all want an update, see where I'm at and what I'm doing and what's the latest.
Yeah,
But
understandable.
Yeah, you can let them know that the reason it's taken so long is now this is now a Kissimmee police investigation.
yeah.
Okay. I know this may not make sense to you, but amongst us it does. Sometimes when people call the police and then want to file a report, there's jurisdictional lines that we gotta follow, okay? So, being that she was dropped off at school, that would make it Orange County's. Okay. But now we can't definitively say she was dropped off at school. We believe she was. We got to go on. We definitely know 100% that she was at home at your house on her way to school. So that's why we're involved. Okay, does that make sense to you now? Okay. I can't think of anything else right now for her. Anything else that we may have missed that?
I know that you said that Stephan was out, right, looking for her that night. Do you remember what time he came back? Like when you woke up, was Stephan home?
Yes.
What time did you wake up?
Can I look at my phone and tell you?
Yeah, of course.
Exactly. Because it was phone calls that would be. Let me see if I can find it. We're talking about Tuesday morning, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And while you were looking for the time, was there any specific reason on why he wanted to use your car instead of his?
Because he had just gotten a flat tire, so he's got a donut on one of the back wheels. And I told him not to drive the car because you can't drive very much on a donut, right? Like
Okay.
not fast and not far. So
Did he explain any, like how the flat tire happened on the car, or
He was just
where
driving
he
down-
was when it?
And he was just driving down 192 and then he felt like a wobble or something weird. And then he pulled over and saw that the tire had like just shredded, just fell apart. So he pulled over into a plaza and changed the tire.
Do you know where about?
He says somewhere on 192, but he doesn't know exactly where because everything looks the same to him.
In Kissimmee?
Yeah. He doesn't know what business he may have stopped at or where. But I will tell you, Stephan also has ADHD. He's also very forgetful. It's like having my child. They're both the same. They both have ADHD. They're both very forgetful. They both have time blindness, which means they lose track of time. If they don't have a watch on them at all times, they've lost track of time. They don't know how long they've been taking. My daughter will take an hour or more long shower, not realizing she's been in the shower for very long. They're both the same in that respect. He's also on medication, which is making him super forgetful. It's an
Is
anxiety.
this new for him, or has he always had this?
Stephan, he's always had ADHD. I want to say that's probably one of the reasons I broke up with him too. Was it's the ADHD part that just it's hard to manage and control, right? It's just how you are, and it's just a lot of those little things that it was just too much for me. And I'm sorry, what were you saying?
No, it's okay.
Yeah, so right now,
He doesn't remember where he got this flat tire.
And he changed it himself, he said?
yes. And he said he hurt himself while doing it. I think his thumb got caught in between the thing that cranks the car up and like the frame. Something twisted and fell on his finger, and he said he yanked out his finger really fast and hurt himself.
Alright, so he used your car because of the flat tire. Okay. And then, did you find the time?
Oh, sorry. I woke up around 8 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday.
And he was home?
Yes,
Was he awake, sleeping, or what was he doing?
asleep.
Okay. And then do you know if at any point during any of this, like if he's showered, he's changed?
No.
Not that you have physically seen?
No, I haven't seen him shower or change.
Okay.
That's that phone number.
No. Oh, sorry, we're almost done.
No worries.
I think he showered. I'm not sure if he showered. I don't think he showered Sunday night. I think it must have been Monday morning sometime.
Monday morning?
Yeah, because there is a towel in my bathroom that's not ours, not mine, or that's hanging there. And I think I recall him telling me he was going to take a shower, but I just don't remember when exactly.
Okay. Does anybody else use this bathroom?
Just me and Stephan.
You say you had 2 roommates.
Yeah.
What are their names?
Do you want the last name as well?
Please.
Last name.
Do you happen to know her phone number?
Yeah. She only speaks Spanish though, so if somebody in Spanish
Okay.
is going to have to call her.
Sure, we can find somebody who speaks Spanish.
I speak Espanol.
And who's the other one? Okay. How long have you guys been roommates with each other?
Almost 3 years. With almost 2.
So I'm not sure if you guys went to the house at all.
You were there, but not inside.
Okay, so these bedrooms are numbered. So do you know which room is
His room is number 3.
number 3?
And room is number 2.
Okay. Like if you actually physically are there, each door has a number.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And do you guys rent to a separate landlord? Like, does someone own that specific unit?
No, my dad.
Okay. So your dad owns it and then he rents out rooms? It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. How did you meet them? Who are they in relation to you?
I've known her since my sister was in middle school. They were middle school best friends. So we've known her, I'd say, more than half her life now, 20 plus years. Met her on Facebook Marketplace almost 3 years ago when she rented.
Looking for a place to
Yeah,
live.
looking for a place, yeah.
How old is
31, 32.
Okay, so they're both a little older.
Yeah. And
Whoa, 31 is not old, okay?
36. Sorry.
and her is 33, I think.
Okay.
Since you mentioned Facebook Marketplace, have any social media?
She's got a Instagram.
Okay. Do you happen to know her Instagram name?
Yeah.
Or if you can pull up her page, that'd be great. Do you mind if I take a picture of it? What about Stephan? Does he have social media?
I'm not sure I don't think he's got, does he? Yes, so he's got Facebook, he's got an Instagram, and he's got a Reddit. Possibly Discord as well, which is like a chat app.
Do you have his Instagram that you can show me? And what about his Facebook?
What's happened to Steph? Actually, can you guys update me on what's happening with Stephan at this point?
So we're, like he said, we're gonna get all the same information that Orange County got from you. So that right now we're kind of starting at the bottom and working our way up.
We're gonna go talk to him now.
Yep.
Oh, after?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So just so we know a little bit more about it, I know you mentioned something about gaming, or is that like one of his things to do, gaming? What is he into?
He's into...
Like, what does he do on a daily basis? Obviously, he lives in North Florida. What's he into?
So, one thing. Another thing Stephan's got, mental health-wise, is insomnia. He doesn't sleep well. And he's got also sleep apnea. So when he sleeps, he stops breathing and doesn't get good rest. His brain is always telling him to wake up and breathe. So he's always constantly being woken up. He doesn't get good sleep. Because of this, he spends the majority of his day sleeping. Just trying to get some rest, but it's a stupid cycle with sleep apnea. He'll spend the majority of his day sleeping. When he does wake up, he'll play a game called World of Warcraft, which is a video game. Or he'll meet up with his friends and play tabletop gamings, like battle, like they battle each other with little toys.
Cards or
not toys, they're little miniature figures.
Okay.
It's called Warhammer 40K. It's just a tabletop tournament game. Like you're a weird race, of creature, and we're going to war with each other.
Okay.
So they're just trying to kill each other.
Battle each other or
yeah.
something. Okay.
That's pretty much what he's into. Also, he collects Tamagotchis and Digimons. I don't know if you guys remember Tamagotchis from back in the day. Little creatures we used to take care of.
Alive.
Yeah. He has a bunch of those. I want to say that's right now. Those are his current hobbies.
And since you've known him for over 7 years, what are his triggers? Like, are there certain things that he gets upset about easily if you do or say, or I mean?
I know I can be a nag sometimes, and if I keep nagging, he'll get a little irritated, but I can't say I know what I don't think he's got triggers.
Have you ever experienced him outlash, like, to the extreme on anybody? You, any of his family? Or does he ever hit you or discipline at all?
Oh no, never. I'll say he does have like a little bit of a temper, but it's not anything I've ever been afraid of or been like, oh my god, he's gonna hit me, or oh my god, he's about to abuse my child. Never like that.
Have you guys had any disagreements recently?
No.
We're gonna go talk to Stephan a little bit to see if he can maybe give a little bit more insight of what happened the day after he dropped her off.
Is he being placed under arrest because of those pictures?
Yeah, we haven't made that determination yet, but
You being mom, do you want to press charges? Since she's a juvenile?
No fucking idea. I didn't think it was in my power. I thought you guys just automatically did it.
What do you think should happen to him for these pictures?
It's crazy. Like, I saw the pictures, but I'm still in denial because, like, there's a penis there, but is he visual? Does he show up in any of the pictures? Is there? I mean, I don't know who's.
I haven't seen all of the pictures, so I can't answer that truthfully.
Because I can't.
Whether it's his penis or not, are you comfortable with him having content of someone else's penis in your daughter's mouth on his phone?
That makes sense.
Years old.
Absolutely not. No.
Have you and your daughter, or you ever talked about her being sexually active with anybody?
Me assuming she had never been sexually active, I hadn't brought it up.
Has she ever had boyfriends in the past, or?
No, she's not allowed to date.
How does that make her feel? I know some teenagers want to have a boyfriend.
Yeah, I think she was okay with it. She never complained and said, "Oh, mom, I really want to date this person," whatever. For a little while, she's like, "Mom, I have a crush on someone. Can they be my girlfriend or can they be my boyfriend?" And I'm just, I don't remember if it was a boy or girl. And I said, "I think you're a little too young for that. Let's just wait till you're older. Wait till you're older." And she was like, okay with that. Yeah, I know she recently had a crush on a boy named, but.
Has she ever had boys at the house?
No.
Have you ever had anybody at your house, any male friends at your house?
Not in years.
What about your roommates?
My roommate has a son who's 11 or 12. But he's darker skin complexion, but I don't think that would be his penis.
Do your roommates have boyfriends?
Not that I know of, I don't think they do.
Would there be any reason for to be alone with, if they have boyfriends, with any other male?
With any other male?
No.
No.
So what do you think should happen to Stephan?
I'm afraid to say press charges, but what else? There's a side of me that wants to say he's innocent, that this hasn't happened, but who else's penis could that be? She's not left alone with anyone else.
And why would they be on his phone?
Yeah, why would they be on his phone exactly? I don't know what to do.
Okay, we can revisit that. Because after we're done talking to him, I'll probably come back and talk to you for a little bit, just to give you an update and stuff like that, okay?
Can I make one decision now and change my mind later? If I decide not to press charges now, could I change my mind and press charges later?
It's a lot to digest. Okay, so I don't want to make you answer that right now, you know. But when we come back, we'll talk more about it. Okay, when I come back.
Let's take some time to process everything.
Because you're going through a lot right now. But right now, I mean, in my eyes, it sounds bad, but almost secondary, because we want to find first. Then worry about this afterwards. She's our main focus.
That's where I'm at. I know that the sexual acts happened, but I'm not convinced that he didn't take her to school. I'm not convinced that he's the reason she's gone. Because if this had been going on for so long, what's the motive? Why Monday? Why that day? Why the day after her, when we were supposed to spend the entire week together and have such a great time? Like, we had plans. Like, we knew we were just gonna be together that week and we were gonna have a good time. So I just can't think, like, why?
When you say what's the motive, what are you assuming?
That she was taken. Not that anyone that I know has done something to her, because I feel like nobody I know would do something to her, would hurt her, would murder her, anything like that. I feel like, shoot. I just wonder if like, I know the sexual acts happened, but I wonder if that's just completely separate to her actually going missing and just don't know. I don't know what to think.
You don't think Stephan has anything to do with her going missing?
I don't feel like he would. Why?
No, I'm just asking.
No, I don't. But I'm just trying to figure out, like, what would be the reason? Where would he take her? There's nowhere I can think that he could take her. that I hadn't heard of or known about or would be familiar with? Because if not, I would tell you, shoot, okay, she could be here, she could be here, she could be here. There's nowhere I can think of.
Who does he know that lives in St. Cloud? You know where St. Cloud is.
I do know where St. Cloud is. Does he know anyone in St. Cloud?
Him or you?
I know people in St. Cloud.
Where do they live?
I haven't seen him in a long while though. But one person lives close to Harmony. So driving all the way down St. Cloud, passing St. Cloud a little bit. One person lives in St. Cloud, like off of Old Canoe Creek Road.
Okay.
Anyone he knows, I can't think of anyone that he would know.
Has Stephan ever went with you to visit any of your friends in St. Cloud?
No.
So you're not sure, does he know anybody in St. Cloud?
I'm not sure if he knows anyone in St. Cloud. I know the girl he dated or was sleeping with. I guess that's technically Kissimmee off of Michigan. That's technically Kissimmee. So no, that's not St. Cloud.
Let me ask you this. Now I'm going to get a little bit more in depth. Why would his car be in St. Cloud Monday?
I know he was going to a bunch of gaming stores, video game stores. Maybe not video game stores, but like board game store, like where he can buy little miniatures and stuff. He also plays a card game. Also, I think he was looking for cards that day. A card game called Lorcana. I know he headed up. I think he told me the shops were off of 192 somewhere. I'm not sure how far they were. I don't know if they were in St. Cloud, but I know he headed in that direction Monday while I was at the doctor's appointment. Or no, just kidding. After.
Okay. When's the last time you've been in your car in St. Cloud?
Me?
While you look for that, did anybody else drive your car while you guys were looking for other than Stephan?
Yes. The last time I was in St. Cloud was February 7th. I had a doctor's appointment over there.
Okay. Who would have been driving your car between Monday and now? Other than you?
Steph.
3 o'clock in the morning?
If he's about driving around, trying to think of places to look for her. Maybe.
You didn't go with him to look?
I had to stay home and take my meds and go to sleep.
All right. So just to be clear, your roommates or nobody else has access to your car other than him? Nobody has a key to your car other than him or you?
The only key they would have access to would be the spare that I keep on a hook by my bedroom door, and anyone can grab that. Would I think my roommates would go into my room and take it? No. But I think the only person that would have was Stephan.
Okay. Anything else? You guys?
No, stop for now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Once again, I apologize that you have to give the story again, but like I said, now I have to play catch up.
Am I allowed to contact anyone right now or no?
Who do you want to contact?
My sister, my mom keeps calling me, but I'm not really sure what to say at this point.
I mean, you can tell I can't tell you what to say or what not to say. I will say that we are now taking over the investigation. So,
PD, right?
yes, ma'am. And I'll give you my card.
Is there a case number or anything I need to?
Not yet, I don't think so. We have theirs,
Yeah.
but I don't have ours yet. But just because this is an open investigation, I would highly suggest not to share any information outside of this room.
Okay.
Take their medication to go to sleep.
1758.
You guys need anything?
The police released the following statement. Major development in the case of missing 13-year-old Madeline Soto. This evening, the Kissimmee Police Department, working in conjunction with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, arrested Stephan Sterns, 37, for sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. Stephan Sterns is the boyfriend of Madeline's mother, and the last confirmed person to see her on the morning of Monday, February 26th. During the investigation into Madeline's disappearance, Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives discovered disturbing images when they forensically examined Sterns' phone. A review of the phone's data revealed attempts to delete evidence. Through the work of our digital forensics unit earlier today, detectives discovered images and videos that were criminal and sexual in nature. Detectives then were able to determine that those crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee, and they immediately notified Kissimmee police. At this time, KPD detectives are the lead on the sexual battery case, working alongside members of our Criminal Investigations Division. OCSO is still actively investigating Madeline's disappearance, and Sterns is considered the prime suspect at this time. This afternoon, Sterns was brought to OCSO Central Operations, where he was interviewed by Kissimmee PD and OCSO detectives. He invoked his right to an attorney and was placed under arrest and transported to jail, where we expect he will be held on no bond. Stephan Sterns had an opportunity tonight to come clean with detectives and help lead them to information about Maddie's disappearance, said Sheriff John Mina. Her loved ones deserve answers, and OXO and the Kissimmee police will not stop until we find Maddie.